located at Arch 22 in Banjul. The Gambia Ports Authority-funded project, when completed, can accommodate hundreds of spectators. Ibrahim Balde went along and he reports the officials are satisfied with the quality of works.
Activities marking 18 years since the July 22nd revolution was ushered in the country have started taking shape. Preparations for what is likely to be colorful anniversary celebrations are at an advanced stage. The laborers are working round the clock to deliver the July 22nd pavilion on good time. What is likely to be an elaborate July 22nd anniversary celebrations has already begun. Officials from the Ministry of Work, Construction and Infrastructure and the senior management team from Grts are already here to inspect ongoing works. Well, the July 22nd revolution continues to deliver massive infrastructural developments, and a case in point is this July 22nd pavilion. From the July 22nd, 1994 to date, the city of Banjul has witnessed unprecedented development projects. The construction of the symbolic Arch 22 monument has given curious TV crew around the world unfettered access to the four corners of Banjul from this vantage point. The Minister of Works, Construction and Infrastructure, Francis Leighton-Boch, and his team of experts were on the ground to inspect the works being carried out. His visit was meant to examine the state of readiness as regards the various components that are needed to finish the job.
So far, everything is going according to plan. We're quite pleased with the quality of works and the progress of works. I've been assured that the main roof structure is substantially completed, and within the next week or so will be 100% completed, and that it will be usable. Hopefully, they're promising that it'll be usable for July 22nd. We're just awaiting the delivery of the seats, pavilion seats, which they've promised to arrive. The supplier has promised for the seats to arrive before July 22nd.
The visit was not only meant for engineers. Grts management was invited to check the facilities and familiar themselves with the structures that are supposed to aid in the planning for the outside broadcast van.
We have noticed that some sockets are needed to supply electricity to the OV van and to other facilities, and also location where we can sit and have a good view of what is happening so that we can do a proper commentary. And also we look at the entire building and see where we can park the OV and vantage point for cameras, where the cameraman could stand and get a good view, because we should not miss anything.
What prompted the authorities to invite Grts on this inspection exercise?
Following executive directives, this was who advised to take into consideration the media aspect of this project, because normally what happens, people tend to forget certain key aspects. There always functions here, and if you do not design the structure to be user-friendly, especially when it comes to media, you don't get the effect that you desire. And so therefore, as partners, it's thought best to invite in the media to look at the works, look at where facilities that have been provided, and to give your input.
The minister continued his inspection, scanning the paper designs carved by the engineers and the team of technicians contracted to give this July 22nd pavilion a new lease of life. This impressive pavilion, when completed, is expected to accommodate a large number of spectators. Officials are optimistic that the Gambia Ports Authority's funded pavilion will be ready and delivered before the July 22nd anniversary. Ibrahim Balde, Grts.
National Assembly members have been using the opportunity provided by the last adjournment debate in the second meeting of the August body to highlight challenges confronting their constituents. Aji Amisisi was following proceedings, and she now tells us more.
Last fortnight has not been unusual for the National Assembly as the second meeting in the 2012 legislative sittings were held. 16 motions have been approved for the past 2 weeks, touching on various sectors for the best interests of the electorate. Today, the last adjournment debate gave deputies the avenue to point out drawbacks in the constituencies they represent and setbacks in the Gambia's development. From health, education, religion and infrastructure, Their needs echoed similar lines, whilst there were those with special needs which they said needs addressing.
Honourable Speaker, I would also appeal to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to help provide my constituency, Same, with a senior secondary school. This senior secondary school will really help or alleviate the sufferings which some of the students have to endure in finding this guardianship.
At the side of Sabah, all the schools we have there, they are lower basic schools. So we are appealing to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to consider upgrading one of those schools to either a basic cycle or an upper basic school.
There are villages within my constituency still, they don't have clean drinking water. These villages are Madinayel and Bolibanda. They've never and ever had government wells. In fact, they are surviving on this thing, this open wells.
The rights of the disabled against discrimination as regards education, health care, and employment, and again against exploitation.
What's happening today in this country, everybody is looking at it and keeping silent on it. That's the conflict between two religious leaders. And if two leaders are in conflict, let us remember the followers of these leaders also are in conflict.
We will not entertain extremism in religion, fundamentalism in religion. It should be the free choice of any man to practice the religion of your choice. We must also realize that we should respect authority. In the Gambia, we have a supreme body responsible for the Christian faith. That is the Christian Council. The Supreme Islamic Council for the Muslims.
In their different deliberations and concerns, some stood more grounds than others, evident of which was the method of distribution of food aid, which the majority of speakers lamented on.
What doubts me, how Jimara can be affected, Tumana is affected, Base in between, it is not affected. So the people who went on that survey, definitely I don't know what measure they have done to do that survey, but those people, I think that they should go back.
The assessment team that went to assess this crop failure situation did a wrong job, to my view. How can they assess Tumana and Jimara only, leaving others within UARA? And there are certain villages too within Tumana. Those villages were affected, but they are not assessed. So this is an unfair situation to me.
Neighboring constituencies or districts have benefited from both food aid distributions as well as the provision of seeds, groundnut and corn, whilst Nyamina West did not benefit from either.
The majority leader and mover of the motion, Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, addressed the concerns raised, hammering home the need to prioritize when dealing with mishaps.
But equally, it's not possible for every area to benefit equally and every family to benefit. It's not possible. So that an assessment done, if all of us are affected, who are most affected, becomes the issue. Yes, we are all affected, but who are most affected? I think she ably responded to that. And we are aware that the National Disaster Management Agency is one of the most proactive, organized, and efficient institutions.
The broader Banjul Crossing Point with the state of affairs and continued point of concern took prominence, with NAMS recounting different complaints being complained by people.
Honorable Speaker, anytime a day before I am about to cross, I never sleep that night. I would also call anybody that I know working at that terminal to ask for the status of the ferries. It is really a state of concern.
But I think the affected areas could have taken the bull by the horn and even contact the ferry services for the slowdown in what they promised. Because as a committee, we could have done it, but we will do it, but we will be doing it at a pace.
After 2 weeks of due deliberations and heated arguments, the House of Parliament today stands Sunday to a later date. For GRTS News, I am Aji Amisise.
You can also follow that story and other Grts programs live